Yayukuy warmicha hatung wilka Doña Robin Harman. Welcome, my beloved sister of the light, Doña Robin Harman, my original emissary from the stars, my youngest of students ever to have walked through the field of the Pachacuti Mesa and continue to do so 30 years from that first fateful meeting. I honor you, I love you, and welcome to our interview so that the world gets to know who you are, my beloved. Thank you for showing up.
Always.
I adore you, seriously. So, I have a couple of questions for you, my love. How was it that you first found your way into this great work we know as Pachacuti Mesa tradition, cross-cultural shamanism?
There are so many ways I can answer that. But what it feels like, the most appropriate, and it won't sound like it, but the most direct line is I can't remember when I wasn't an apprentice to this work. From the time I was very young, in my memory, 4 or 5 years old, I had a sense of mission and direction and made life choices based on a line that I was traveling, a path that I was traveling that didn't make sense from the outside world. And when I was young, we didn't have the kinds of opportunities that are available now. So I was reading everything from Edgar Cayce to Lobsang Rampa, reading about psychic phenomena, doing mystery school work, studying Joseph Campbell. I ultimately went to see Mother Mira. What are some other things? Rebirthing, breath work. A lot of those things that were available at that time that have sort of fallen out of fashion, some of them, but were steps toward the work that we're doing now. Something in my heart was driving me. And I spent 15 years doing a work that was a kind of an attunement work. And the greatest gift that that gave me was it taught me how to go inside the body, to feel the physicality of the body and move into the subtle bodies. And from that place, like, those places never lie. If you want the truth of who you are, investigate your own embodiment and then bring it forward. And so I learned to have a scaffolding in that inner world that is priceless. And at the time that I left that work, I discovered Oscar 3 months later. And it was very, everybody has their Oscar stories, Don Oscar, but mine was a series of events where somebody sent me a gift of money the day that the registration was closing, and you ended up teaching a workshop 3 blocks from where I lived on a farm outside of a city. And there it began. But what I can say is it wasn't the Pachacuti Mesa tradition that I was learning from you. I was with you and around you and studying with you as you took this work and developed it into the remarkable body of teachings that are now available to everyone. So my story's a little different from most. Honestly, I watched it unfold. And I kind of think I needed that extra time, honestly, but to come to the table fully, because I had considerations around cultural taking on. You know, I hadn't been, I wasn't born in Peru. Should I be teaching this work? And so now the word is cultural appropriation, but then there wasn't a lingo around that. But whether I had permission to teach it was a little bit different than having permission to do the work for myself and in service to people. So all during that arc of time, I kept growing my consciousness, peeling away layers of who I am, learning how to go deep inside, and then taking that in ways that I wanted to be of service and be present for people in need around me, whatever that might look like at any given time. And I remember a moment thinking people that are really doing the kind of journey and searching that I'm doing will find the same things that I'm learning, the same things that I'm doing. But I wanted to take it to people that might not otherwise experience the largesse of consciousness work outside of very, structured approaches to spirituality that exist in mainstream America. And lo and behold, I found myself working in corporate America. And so I would be remiss to not mention that, because the way I have done the work has been to take it and be like a little spy going undercover into these areas. And my mission was in service to nonprofits and in service to corporate America, to bring the shamanic authenticity, the authenticity that comes in consciousness when you do the work and you are self-accountable and self-responsible. And what I adored about this work from the get-go is that it was big enough. It encompasses anything and everything within alignment with the light. And so it doesn't matter what your religious beliefs are, what kind of baggage you bring into the story. There's a way for you to navigate within this work and grow and learn and be accepted and be embraced. And that's not a casual thing. And I do honor you, Don Oscar, for keeping it that way, because so many people that develop these kinds of bodies of work can get controlling and limiting. And you just continue to expand, and therefore I can continue to work with you, and I can continue to do the work inside the auspices of this, because just go big, go big or go home. So that's pretty much my answer to that question.
Wow. Wonderful ontological wisdom that indicates that you and I are one and the same reflection of the great work. Because what I hear you saying, my beloved Robin, is that you were born already knowing that your earth walk was going to be one of expanding the limits of what it means to be human in a manner that through the love that you were embodied with, you brought it into a healing path that touched upon various other disciplines and brought it into the 3D corporate world. Yet few people know that aside from all the Pachacuti Missa tradition work you've done, you have also been instrumental in the heart of the healer in making that a reality. You've been instrumental in holding space for me while I went through my own dark night of the soul. You have been instrumental in being at my back when the time was called for. And I'm forever grateful for that, my beloved. So your story and how you responded to that first question basically is that of transformation, which leads me into the second question, which probably you've already answered, which how has this work mostly transformed who you are as a person?
Whew. Well, the trajectory has been pretty extended. But what happened once I stepped up to the plate to be a teacher, for one thing, I had to break through my own belief systems around whether or not a round eye could do that, right? But I also really heard that the lineage was asking us to do that. I really felt the support coming through the tradition way back to do the work. And so one of the primary ways I have been changed by stepping up is the growth of my awareness of the support and allies that are in service to everyone who will just open their eyes and energetic field to the grace that's available. They're all like hanging around waiting to be of service. And we're too wrapped up in our own little petty selves to even think to invite them, to include them in the party and do the dance with us. They just want to help. And that awareness has just grown exponentially since I've been doing the work, as well as the opportunity to just slice and dice and fine tune awareness. I remember in my first, I was maybe my second weekend of teaching, but we were doing work with the Apus, the mountain spirits. And I have a commitment that I'm not going to take anybody to do journey work until I'm in both places. I'm where I'm starting and everybody is, as well as in the location that we're going.
Hmm.
And that night, I just wasn't feeling it. And it was getting closer and closer to time to do the work. And I moved one piece on my mesa a quarter of an inch, and the world opened up. And those kinds of things are teach you in ways of just getting more and more aware of the subtleties of life. And it all plays out on the mesa. And it all plays out in all the opportunities it affords us to not get caught in our heads, not get caught in our own judgments. And I can't tell you the number of people that over the years, and you will remember this, that will come and go, I haven't been meditating. I haven't been showing up at Link Up every Wednesday night. I'm not worthy of the work. I'm going, oh my God, if missing Link Up on occasion kicks me out of the community, I would have been gone forever ago. You just show up and do the best you can and keep working it and keep loving yourself and loving the people around you. So that's most of it. I guess the other thing, though, that I have to mention is the experience of being a hollow bone. And in today's times, this year, really using the work to become an axis mundi in consciousness and the work that it takes to hold balance when the world has gone mad.
So in essence, my beloved, I hear you saying that it's a process of constant transformation for you. And that, as Don Celso would say, haciendo se aprende, por Dios. By doing, one learns. So as you teach, as you do, you grow, you learn, and you transform, capital T, beyond all limitations that your personality may have brought to the mix when you first started.
Right.
Thank you so much for showing up, staying put, yet at the same time flying everywhere. And let's keep it going. Let's take it to the street, sister.
We
I love
are.
you.
Love you so much.